guys. So it's been a minute since I've posted a video. I thought I would turn the camera around so you could at least see a little bit of something. But yeah, I just wanted to say hey, and my mind was kind of going everywhere, so I thought I'd just record my thoughts real quick. So it has to do with like I don't want to say overwhelm, but feeling like you're going in 10,000 different directions at the same time. And I'm not stressed, well, I am stressed by this, but I'm not like overwhelmed stressed, I guess would be the word. It is what it is, but you know, I feel like I'm trying to establish new habits, new good habits that I've been trying to establish for a long time. And you know, the routine of getting to work on time, and then projects at work, and I'm really trying to come up with really good ideas and get projects done to make the training better, easier, simpler. And then, you know, like, I don't know, I feel like things like that in that category are kind of in limbo when I'm like running around all day and busy with a full, you know, training group. I don't really get to focus enough to create new projects or finished projects because my brain is not able to focus long enough to brainstorm, I guess. So you know, there's that part of my world that I really want to do well in, you know. And then I also have a training idea for outside of work that I would like to implement someday. So I'd like to be working on that. I did work on it a couple weeks ago and got a lot done, but it's not cohesive yet. And then, you know, the routine of driving home, and a bedtime routine of doing something around the house that needs to be done, making my cigarettes, because I've been primarily rolling my own cigarettes for at least a month now. Prices just got way too high, and I was like broke every day, or not every day, but like every pay period, and I realized that a huge chunk of my spending money for the pay period was going to cigarettes, and I'm not okay with that. I work too damn hard to be throwing my money away on pack after pack of cigarettes. So I started rolling my own, and this is the third attempt to start smoking my own that I roll, but it's always failed. So this is the first time that it's been successful. It finally just doesn't even bother me. What I have been doing, however, is buying a pack of cigarettes a week, and every day I smoke 4 of those. It's just kind of my little reward. So I have one first thing in the morning, one at lunchtime, one when I've left work, and then one right before bed. And that's worked really, really well. So I do that. Do a chore. I've been trying to stretch every night because I'm realized that I'm just not going to do it in the mornings. It's just too hard to roll out of bed sometimes, so I've been doing it before bed, and reading for a half hour. So I'm still trying to get through my really hard book, and I think I'm like 2/3 of the way through it now finally. I've been reading The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and the first like third of it I just read, and it's a hard read. Like, I have a decent reading level, and it's just way above my reading level. There's so many, it's like he just sat and wrote with a dictionary. Some of the words in there I've never heard before, and he uses a ton of big words. So I was really struggling, and then it dawned on me one day there's probably an audiobook. So what I did is I pulled up the audiobook and started reading along, and that really helped a lot. But I was still kind of struggling, and then I tried speeding it up. So I put it at 1.25 speed, and now it's more at the speed of my reading. So now it's actually like more cohesive than it was in the beginning of the book. It could be the topics I understand better, but it feels like it's more cohesive, and I'm actually like understanding what's being talked about. So I'm like 2/3 of the way done with that. I almost gave up on it because I just was not understanding anything, and it was just reading words that meant nothing. But because it was above my reading level, I was like, you know what? I started this. I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to give up until I'm done with this book. So that's where I'm at on that. And I'm also trying to, weed out some of my books because I have a lot of books. And I never take the time to read. So I'm trying to establish that half hour before bed I'm reading. And, it's like two birds with one stone. I love reading. And when I'm finished with a book, unless it was just like an amazing, incredible book, it goes to a new home. And then, of course, not bringing in more books. That's the tricky part. So I've been doing that, and then trying to get to sleep relatively on time. I finally have kind of given up on the 9:30 and kind of shooting for 10 o'clock. And I have other ideas that I want to work on as well with my creativity, my drawing, I have like business ideas that I want to work on, and I'm trying to weasel out things to do there and where to start and what to think of. I had thought yesterday was, I call an idea day, because I just had all these ideas popping out of my head, and I love days like that. But one of my ideas, by the end of the day, I realized wasn't as great of an idea as I thought it was going to be, because I realized that should I go that route, there's probably going to be a contract involved, and the contract is probably going to try to restrict me from going to other companies with my thing. So I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. I was aiming for three big companies, and I bet you every single one of them would have a contract saying that I can't sell my art to anybody else for yada yada yada. So I'm like, now I'm trying to think of how I can get around that. In what way can I restructure my idea to work around such contracts where I can, like a freelance contractor kind of thing, like I still have the right to take my art anywhere I want, and create some, that sun is bright, create some passive income. Still wanting to write books of my own. I've got several ideas there. So I've always got these like crazy things going on in my head all the time, and I'm thinking about this and this and this and this and this, and trying to maintain, and trying to eat. My teeth is still a huge project. I got 2 more teeth pulled a couple weeks ago, a month ago, I don't know. So I'm whittling that down, because ultimately they're almost all going to get pulled, and then I'm going to be getting dentures. Due to the fact that my teeth have just deteriorated so much that there's really nothing left to save, and I can't afford root canals and crowns on 20 teeth. So yeah, and then partial dentures for the ones that have already been pulled. I ain't got that kind of money. If I, had some kind of angel investor, yeah, I could do it, but you're looking at, I don't know, for root canals and crowns and partials, $8,000 to $10,000 at least. And then if I wanted to go the route of dental implants rather than dentures, that's like 40 to 50 grand for a good, that's not something you really want to go the cheapest deal you can find on. And I will probably never have $50,000 to spend on that. So I'm doing what I can and trying to make it work. teeth that were kind of the worst teeth, cold has been amazing because I can eat more types of food than I was able to before, and not worry so much about biting down on the wrong tooth. So I feel like I've been able to finally binge, not really binge. Like I can take a plate of food and just gobble the whole plate of food up without even thinking about it, which is kind of nice. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, so there's that going on, and there's all this outside world stuff going on with the COVID and the masks and the election and the protests and just crazy insanity everywhere. And then on my commutes, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Maybe not the first time, but one of the first times, the audiobook I'm currently listening to, I definitely want to go buy the paperback version or hardcover version. Probably paperback. I prefer paperbacks. That is Tim Ferriss. This is my second Tim Ferriss book. I really enjoy his writing style, the information he puts out. So this one is Tools of the Titans, and it's fantastic. I would like to have an in-hand copy, because literally I would probably go through and highlight it like some people do their Bible. There's so much good stuff in there. So that's the one I'm currently listening to. I listened to a book about self-discipline, and I've listened to a book about manipulation, and a bunch of stuff lately. So I've been doing that, and that's really kind of lighting my fire, especially this Tim Ferriss book, to get motivated again to make progress in, getting rid of the clutter, working on my projects, just staying the course of what I'm doing right now as far as a job and money, while planning on the side for an eventual breakaway. My ultimate dream is it's evolving into this kind of like half and half of having a big, huge wood cabin, with the big bay windows somewhere in Montana, over, with a view of the mountains and the river. So it's like half that and half, some kind of vehicle that I can live in and just go from place to place and gypsy it. That in itself has been one of my most common, that's where I see myself. And as things get crazier and crazier, it sounds like less and less of a crazy idea. But, I do still have a child that's under 18, and I have commitments to my job, and we have a mortgage that we would like to make some progress on, and we have, other things to get in order. So it's not really something that is right for this time in our life, but it is something I do want to be working towards, so that when the time is right, we can just go, just do it, whatever it is, a cabin or a vehicle that we just roam around in. So yeah, obviously there's more detail to that whole scenario than that, but you know what I mean. Temperatures are getting cold. It is 38 degrees this morning, and I'm starting to see not quite frost, but almost frost. I'm not ready. I hate the driving in the winter. Other than that, I don't mind winters. Just the commute to work. Being in a position where I could have been working from home this whole time would have been beautiful. But unfortunately, that's not quite where I'm at. So I was able to work from home some days. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of reiterate that, being pulled in 1,000 different directions, it can be manageable, and it's really, I believe, in my own opinion, about the mindset and kind of staying on top of that, because I could very easily go into I'm overwhelmed, I can't handle it, it's too much, and panic mode. And actually feeling rather empowered that I can do this. I've been doing it for so long anyway. Why would I tell myself I can't do this? I do it all the time. I do tend to when I get going too many different directions, I will get overwhelmed and shut down. But I know that, and I've gotten better over the years at managing that. So being okay with, you know what, this thing, let's just put this in a box. Let's put this away for now and let it rest. Let's let it do its thing, but it needs to just be put away for right now, and kind of help manage that overwhelm. But you know, being motivated to do something with your life and having goals and dreams is super crucial. And people that don't, I just can't understand that they don't have anything more they want out of their life than being at these unimpressive, uninspiring, dead-end everything. You know, I've never, that's never been me. And I guess maybe that's okay for people, that's okay for them. And I just worry that maybe some people don't realize that they have those things in their mind, and they've gotten complacent, and they've given up, you know. And I've given up many times, but I always get re-inspired. So, you know, if you're looking for a sign to get re-inspired, here it is. So yeah, it's a beautiful day, and I just wanted to make sure that I let everybody know that you're doing okay, and it's okay to have, you know, several different things going on, and it is manageable. It's all about your perspective. It's all about your attitude. It's all about filtering where you need to filter, and putting things in a box where you need to put things in a box for now, and prioritizing, you know, what's most important right now that will still get you to your end goal. But let's not think about the whole elephant. Let's think about the bite we need to take right now. So yeah, hope everybody's doing well. I hope that you are all surviving all this craziness, and you know, I'm sending love to everybody, and like Bailey Sarian says, make good choices, and like I usually say, be kind to each other. You never know what other people are going through, so be kind to each other. Oh, that reminds me, actually, if anybody else might need the reminder to be careful with your coworkers not to ask personal questions, and that a simple question could be more personal than you think it is. I had a coworker that was gone on maternity leave. His wife had a baby, and I've worked with him for almost 3 years now. I adore him. And when he came back, I was excited to see he was back. And the first thing I said was, "Hello, how's the baby?" Well, the baby, I didn't get the full story because I didn't want to pry. But the baby was possibly a stillborn. And so there is, you know, he simply replied with, "The baby's not with us anymore." And the feeling that my foot was in my mouth and going quickly down my throat was not fun. It was none of my business to ask about the baby. I could have just simply asked, "How are you? Glad to see you're back." You know, it's not always wise to ask about, you know, personal events in coworkers' lives, even if you've worked with them for, you know, several years, but you don't really know them. And I don't really know him, but we, you know, say hi and chit chat here and there. We have many times over the years. And so, you know, I just casually asked about the baby, and realized quickly that was not a smart move. Years ago, I had asked a friend that I actually was even closer to, and I asked about his tattoos, and he informed me that they were tattoos of the 2 daughters he had that passed away when they were babies. And that was, you know, the first time I had an experience like that where I was like, damn, I shouldn't ask questions, you know? So just a friendly reminder that anybody might need today to kind of double think what you might be asking somebody that you're not super close to. Could it be too personal? Could you get a response that you weren't expecting? when he responded that way, I was done for the day. My heart was broken for him, and I just, my work brain was over. That was it for the day, you know. So just a friendly reminder to think of things like that. Be safe, everyone. Bye, y'all.